Hey house guests, welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Love MJ and Latoya L. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. Okay. I think we need to start this spoiler with a quick little prayer. Dear Lord, please let me make it through this entire spoiler video without laughing my ass off at the foolishness, the absolute foolishness of all of these house guests left in the game. Amen. I can't even believe what we're about to talk about in this spoiler today. This is insanity. I've never seen anything like this before. This is absolutely wild. Okay, so when we left off yesterday, there was a lot of drama surrounding the veto. Jed and Beth are up on the block. Jed won the power of veto. If you guys want to know all the details on this, check out yesterday's spoiler because I went really in depth there. But this is more just like the bare bones of what was going on at the end of yesterday's spoiler. So Jed and Beth, they were trying to get Brayden to be their replacement nominee, assuming Jed would use the veto on himself, like most people would. They're acting like they've accepted that Beth will be going this week, so they're telling Tara, if Beth is going anyway, why anger Ty? Put up Brayden against Beth, and then we just vote Beth out. Yeah. Okay. On the flip side, Kiefer came up with this plan to try and get Jed to use the power veto on Beth instead of himself. So, Brayden, Tara, and Ty were also in on this. There's no way he would fall for something like this, right? Like, there's no way. So the idea is to present this to Jed, like, Brayden would go up as the replacement nominee, and then they would, like, vote out Jed. Kiefer and Ty would vote out Jed. Here's where it gets really confusing. What is Ty doing? Would he actually vote Jed out against Brayden? Because he's been telling the non-trio that all freaking week. He's like, yeah, I'm ready to vote out Jed. Let's do it. Let's do this. And he seems really genuine about it. Also, would Beth vote out Jed if she was off the block? She's been talking it up to the cameras about how she needs to make her big move and it's going to be her taking out Jed. So this would actually be her chance to do that. I could totally see her turning on Jed. But anyway, I feel like there's no way you can trust that. There's no way that you can trust that the trio is going to turn on Jed if he's up on the block against Brayden. So Tara, she told Brayden multiple times there's no way that she would put him up as the replacement. Can't take that chance. It's going to be Ty going up. Like, sure, we can tell Jed that you're going to be going up to trick him, but then it's going to be Ty. Okay, we'll see. So the plan really kicked off with Tara presenting it to Beth, and Beth was like, wow, Tara really does want me to stay this week, and she would keep the whole trio intact just to keep me around. Sure, Beth. Okay. Oh my god. So, as predicted by the house guests, once Beth presented this to Jed, him and his big ego are really interested in this proposition. He's like, oh my god, this is like the total GOAT move. This would be the greatest move of all time. If we could pull it off, like all three of the trio would be safe. This would be amazing. And he's had this in his head all season. Like, how cool would that be if somebody was up on the block, used the power veto on the person next to them, and then they also make it through the week? This is something I've heard him say out loud before. So this is definitely a smart move to try and get him to do this, knowing that he thinks it would be such a sick move, and knowing what a huge ego he has. I never thought that he'd seriously be considering using this power of veto on anyone other than himself. Absolutely insane. So, Jed and Beth, they're shook by this, but they're really excited. They're telling Ty about Tara's proposition, and Ty, who's known about this from the get-go, is acting like this is the first time he's ever heard this. He's like, she wants you to use the veto on Beth? What? And he is selling it. So is he actually turning on Jed right here? Because he could have easily told Jed and Beth the truth right now, what's really going on, and being like, play along with this, we'll get Brayden up on the block and we'll vote him out. But he didn't say anything about it. He's just playing along. So Beth says, yeah, Tara needs me here. I didn't know that she actually did want to keep me this week. I thought she was just saying that. I thought that she wanted to split up the trio no matter what. Come on, Beth. Come on. She does. She's wanted Jed out since the very beginning. So Beth is saying Tara wants to go to the Final Four with us. She wants Brayden to go this week. So then Kiefer joins them, and Beth and Jed, again, are retelling Tara's proposition, which is funny because Kiefer is the one that created this whole plan, and they're, like, regurgitating it back to him, and he's just like, whoa, this is crazy. What? So Beth and Jed are like, yeah, it turns out we did such a good job with our plan of convincing Tara that Beth would go home against Brayden, that Tara is now saying she wants Jed to use the power veto on Beth to guarantee that she's going to be safe. And that's insane. But anyway, Jed is concerned that Tara would put Ty up against him and not Brayden, like she's saying. That's a serious concern, right? So Kiefer is pushing, if Jed uses the veto, there's a chance that they could all stay this safe. They could all make it through the week. There is a glimmer of hope if he uses the veto on Beth. However, if he uses it on himself, Ty is going to go up on the block. Tara's been very clear about that. And one of their group will definitely be leaving. So Beth says, you know what? I kind of believe Tara. I feel like she would follow through on this and put Brayden up on the block. Of course Beth is going to say that. She wants that veto used on her. But she says Tara is just trying to make it past next week. She's really worried because she's not going to be able to play in the next HOH competition. She wants to make sure that she's going to be safe. And she says Tara doesn't care about splitting up the trio now. Like, that's out the window. This is the new thing that she's looking at. So Kiefer and Ty are really pushing for Jed to make the move. But Jed's like, would Tara be stupid enough to actually put Brayden up on the block? Because Jed does not want to be up against Ty. No freaking way. Even though he's pretty sure that he would stay against Ty, which is like, what? But at one point, Ty and Jed were chatting alone outside. And again, this is another opportunity for Ty to tell Jed what's up. But he doesn't. He doesn't tell him. So Ty is really working that ego angle, saying like, I don't think a move like this has ever been done before. Like, this would be such a big deal. And Jed is like salivating at the thought. And Ty says he and Beth would be the ones voting. So like, they're gonna keep Jed safe. But Jed is still not sure that Tara would put Brayden up on the block. And Ty's like, I don't know. Part of me thinks that Tara doesn't really care for Brayden because he can't guarantee her anything. Just the way that Ty said that really, like, struck me funny. She doesn't care for him. But yeah, again, Ty is pushing this plan. It's almost like he actually does want Jed out. I don't know. It's really weird. But meanwhile, Kiefer's checking in with Brayden and Tara, and he lets them know, hey, this plan is working. It's kind of sticking right now. Jed, yeah, he's a little sketched out, but we got to stay strong with this, keep pushing for it, because it could actually happen. So then Brayden walks away. It's just Kiefer and Tara, and Kiefer's like, man, I thought I would feel bad about this plan, about, like, Snake and Jed like this, but I don't. He says this one is for Blue Line. So then Tara's like, if you guys send Brayden home, I'm going to be pissed. I thought she wasn't actually putting him up on the block. Is she just saying this because she's talking to Kiefer? Like, what's going on here? But Kiefer's like, yeah, I would be pissed too if Brayden went home. He says, it's me, you, and Brayden against the world. And then he's already looking ahead to next week. Like, if we get rid of Jed this week, if this plan works out, he says, I think we should send Ty out next because then we're just up against Beth. Like, we can beat Beth. This is wild. Okay, so then Tara and Ty were chatting in the Expedia room, and Ty is giving Tara some feedback on how the plan is going so far. He says Beth is a fan of the plan, of course. He says Jed is not super convinced that Tara would put Brayden up. You know, Jed is thinking that Tara is going to snake them and put Ty up on the block next to him. So Tara's like, well, what should I do? When I talk to Jed, should I swear on my kids that I'll put Brayden up? I don't know why this would even be a thing at this point, considering, like, didn't Tara swear on her kids to Beth that she would not put her up on the block? And look where we are now, right? Beth is up on the block, so why would anyone listen to that from Tara? But, yeah, Ty's like, yeah, that's good. You should definitely say that. So Tara tells Ty, like, I'm not just saying that. Like, I will put Brayden up as the replacement if Jed uses the POV on Beth. She says, I'm putting my trust in you and Kiefer to vote out Jed if this all goes according to plan here. Ty swears that he will vote Jed out. Okay, meanwhile, Jed and Kiefer chatting in the kitchen, and Jed's like, oof, I would never forgive myself if I made this move, this crazy-ass move, and then I ended up going home. Yeah, it'd be pretty wild. But he says he's sick of people forcing his hand when he wins stuff. Remember the last time he won the power veto and he was going to use it on LaToya, and Spicy V was like, I'm going to put up Ty if you do that. He's been in some sticky situations with these vetoes, but Jed says at the end of the day, I got to make sure that I'm good first moving forward before I do anything for anybody else. And Kiefer, he's pushing that ego angle. He's like, I know, well, it's either the greatest move of all time or the worst. Jed says he honestly doesn't see himself making this move. And then, poof, the feed's cut. Alright, so then the feeds were down for like an hour and a half. And then when they come back, Jed is talking to Ty outside. And Jed is now saying he's willing to make the sacrifice to keep all three of them there. Meaning, like, use the POV on Beth in the hopes that Brayden would go up on the block. So he's like, I'm excited to make the biggest move in history. Like, I'm actually excited about it. And he says he just needs Ty and Beth to guarantee that they will vote for him to stay. And Ty's like, of course, duh. And Jed says, I'm not letting us be broken up by Tara. Tara? No. So it sounds like while the feeds were down, Jed had another conversation with Tara, and I guess he was pretty happy with it, pretty convinced that she would follow through and put Brayden up on the block. So Ty says he's with it, you know, and if this doesn't work and Tara puts him up against Jed, Ty says he'll take the L. He's like, you won the power veto, like, you deserve to stay, so I'll take the L. I'll take the loss. Ty knows he's got people backing him up. So then Beth comes outside, and Jed lets her know he's making the move. He's going to use the veto on her. And Beth is like, she's pretty confident that Tara's going to be putting Brayden up as the replacement. They talk about how legendary this is and how they want to get Tara out next, which is going to be even more legendary after this week. And then Jed and Beth were alone at one point, and Jed starts using this, like, cutesy voice, and he's like, I'm not using the POV on you because I love you. He says this is for the sauce. You know, he would do the same thing for Ty. Oh, Jed. Can you imagine? He does this, and then Beth votes him out. But even crazier, imagine that happens, and then Jed comes back. That'd be freaking wild. But he's gonna be so upset if they flip on him after this. Oh my god. So then Tara, Kiefer, and Brayden were chatting in the HOH room. And Tara's like, I'm pretty sure that we've convinced Jed to use this power veto on Beth. It seems like it's happening. So then, in the same breath, she tells Brayden, you're gonna have to go up on the block, though. What? Is she just saying this because Kiefer's in the room and she's trying to keep this just between her and Brayden, that she wouldn't put him up? Like, what's going on here? Is she serious about this? I'm getting the vibe that this conversation between Jed and Tara that happened while the feeds were down, it seems like Tara was really freaked out by it, and felt like she needed to put up Brayden because I guess she did end up swearing on her kids, and I guess she doesn't want to go back on that again. So yeah, it sounds like they put a lot of pressure on her, and she's actually, like, gonna put Brayden up on the block. What the hell? That seems really dumb. So Brayden's like, I trust you. And he jokes that he's gonna wish ill will on them if he goes. So then they talk about how Brayden should act shocked when he goes up on the block and, like, annoyed with Tara. But is Brayden seriously okay with this? This is super dangerous. I know Ty has been convincing this week, but they really think that Ty is just going to go ahead and vote Jed out? It's totally possible that he will. It is totally possible. But that is such a huge risk. When Tara can just put Ty up on the block as a replacement, and they guarantee that Ty or Jed would go. It's crazy to me. It's too much. But, yeah, they're very confident that Ty will vote with Kiefer to take out Jed. So, yeah. They were also talking about how they think there's a chance that Beth may even try to vote Jed out. That is definitely possible. I could totally see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised if Ty voted to keep Jed and Beth voted Jed out. Like, I would not be surprised at all. But they joke, like, imagine Jed comes back next week through a twist. Yeah, it'd be crazy. Okay, so then later, Jed confirms with Tara, yes, he will be taking Beth down off the block. And Tara confirms, in return, she will be putting Brayden up on the block. So after this conversation, Tara lets Brayden and Kiefer know it's going down. And Brayden, when he hears this, is running around all excited, like, I can't believe it. Even after Tara confirms, yes, she is putting Brayden up as a replacement, he's still super psyched about this. Why are you not freaking out? In a bad way. But they agree. They're going to have to pretend all week that Brayden is going because they want to blindside Jed with these votes. They don't want him to catch wind of anything and start freaking out. So Brayden is like, oh my God, Austin must be shitting her pants at home watching this all unfold. Yeah, I'm sure she is. And not for the reasons you're thinking. But Kiefer says all of Canada is shitting their pants. There's going to be shit everywhere. Which just makes me think of the Dumb and Dumberer movie, which, yes, this whole week is Dumb Jed and Dumberer Tara. But Kiefer says adult diapers are going to be flying off the shelves. What is going on this week? Oh my God. So they're all pumped that they pulled off this move. They've gotten Jed to agree that he's going to be using the power veto on Beth. It was a team effort. And I gotta say, both sides last night, super excited, thinking that they pulled one over on the other side. But what is Ty really thinking? That's what it comes down to right now. What is Ty actually thinking? We need some camera talks or some diary rooms. I need to know. Yeah, so then Brayden was chatting with Kiefer before bed. And he admits he's kind of nervous about going up. He's a little bit nervous. And Kiefer is reassuring him, me and Ty are going to be voting out Jed. He says, I've been in this too deep with Ty for too long. And it wouldn't make sense for us to keep Jed at this point. Like, he's got to go. So Brayden's like, all right, well, if you guys keep him, you're all idiots. And I hope you lose the game. Yeah. So he says he trusts Kiefer, but he's stressed about Ty and Beth, the two other people that'll be voting. Kiefer's telling him it's going to be fine. You don't have to worry. All right. So then this morning, Tara's checking in with people, making sure that this plan is still on. So Tara talks to Kiefer, and she's like, you guys will be the biggest idiots if this is a setup to get out Brayden. No, you would be. She kept trying to, like, pass off the blame. Like, if this goes wrong and Brayden goes, I'm not going to look like the idiot like you guys are. No, I think you're going to look like a pretty big idiot. But Kiefer says, I'm not setting up Brayden. Like, I want Jed to go. And I totally believe that Kiefer does want Jed to go. I just don't know where Ty stands with all this. So then Tara mentions this conversation that she overheard the trio having earlier in the week when she was, like, waiting for her HOH room or something. They were talking about how they were going to, like, come up with a plan so that all three of them could survive and make it through the week. Hello? Do you not see what's happening here? She should be super freaked out by this, but she only seems like medium freaked out. So Tara says she's taking a huge risk by only having one of the trio up on the block after this POV. So Kiefer's like, well, if you're like really nervous about it, you could just put Ty up on the block. But Tara's like, no, I think if Ty goes up, then Jed is going to go crazy with his campaigning this week. He's going to be campaigning so hard, and it's possible that we could end up losing Ty, and then Jed is still here. So they agree they need to go for this. But wouldn't it be worse if you lost Brayden and Jed was still there and Ty? Hello? Yeah, but they're going to go for it. Kiefer is confident that Ty is going to vote out Jed. Tara tells Kiefer, you need to stay on him. Okay, so then Tara checks in with Jed. He confirms, yes, he's still doing it. He's still using the power of veto on Beth. Okay, Tara checks in with Brayden, and Tara admits this plan is a risk. You know, there is a lot of risk involved here, and she wants to make sure that he's totally comfortable with going up on the block as the pawn. So Brayden kind of brings up the possibility of, like, I don't know, maybe like Ty goes up instead. Tara explains again why she doesn't want to do that. She's worried that Jed would start campaigning. Maybe like Jed would be able to flip Kiefer's vote and like all of a sudden Jed is staying. So again, like, wouldn't you rather make sure you're splitting up that duo and Brayden is safe? Like, I don't get it. But she says she swore on her kids that she would put Brayden up on the block if Jed uses the veto on Beth. Okay, so then Brayden says he doesn't love the idea of going up on the block, but he gets it. Oh my god. Brayden hardly pushed at all to stay off the block, so I don't know what his deal is. I feel like he should not be doing this. This is foolish. So Tara says, I feel like the risk is worth it and you'll survive. That's easy to say when you're the HOH, but she tells him again, like, act annoyed with me after the POV. Like, we really got to sell this. So then Tara checks in with Ty, and she tells him about that conversation that she overheard earlier in the week. And she was like, yeah, I heard you guys talking about, like, making it through this week, all three together. So she says, I know you guys can screw me over, but by keeping you off the block, I'm trying to build trust with you. Like, I want to work with you moving forward. And Ty says, yeah, I'm on board. Like, we got to make this move. We got to get Jed out of here. And he's saying, like, I understand that you have to change with this game as it changes. So he's telling Tara he's going to do it. He's going to vote Jed out. Is that true? Don't know. So then a little later, they have the power veto ceremony. And Jed used the power of veto on Beth. He really did it. Tara then went ahead and nominated Brayden as the replacement nominee. She really did that. Is there a gas leak in the house? Because I feel like everyone is making terrible decisions this week. What is going on? We thought that Spicy V was the wild one. Remember her HOH week when we were just like, ah. And remember her Invisible HOH week when we were like, Okay, Spicy V was like a warm-up for Jed and Tara. This is insane. I just can't get over the ridiculousness of this week. So then Tara, after the ceremony, was like already panicking. Did I just F us over? She was really paranoid because Ty was hanging out with Beth and Jed, and she was like, I should have just put Ty up. Yes, correct. But Brayden is reassuring Tara it's going to be fine. They're all, the others are all going to be morons if they keep Jed. It just wouldn't make sense. So after that, it was a pretty quiet afternoon after all the POV craziness. Brayden, he's already working on Beth, though. He's already working on Beth to vote out Jed, and she's already been thinking about it. So it's not going to take much work to sway her. But they agree that this would be a huge move for Beth to vote out Jed after he just used the power of veto on her while he was also on the block. Oh my Can you imagine though? So Beth says, I just need one other person to vote with me. It's just that easy. So she tells Brayden to talk about it with Kiefer and Ty. She can't be the one to approach Ty about this because then, she can't have this getting back to Jed. So I feel like Beth is going to flip. Even if they don't have Ty, I feel like Beth is going to flip. But we've got 3 days left until the eviction. Should be really interesting to see how this all plays out. It is hard to say who's going at this point. I honestly can't tell you. I don't know what Ty is thinking. I feel like Beth could potentially flip on Jed. But then I feel like the trio could be like, we've been working together this whole time. We're going to do this crazy ass move and keep all of us safe. So it's really hard to figure out like how this is going to go down without us seeing any like diary rooms or camera talks. I'm sure Beth will probably be talking to the cameras all week. So, oh my God, I just can't. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments on all of this insanity. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, much love.